We're back. Excited to be live again, day after day, and do this stuff. It's quite a challenge, I have to say. Doing this every day means you basically don't have a choice, which is, there is a big difference between motivation and discipline. A lot of people are motivated, very few have the discipline. And people have to understand I actually don't like to do this stuff. Like, be on camera is not, it's not my thing. Maybe it's gonna be, we don't know, but I'm excited regardless. Yesterday we did not do any market update, so it's time for a little market update. So we'll pull up the charts just now, and we'll have a look at the market. I feel like a very boring man because what I'm saying is always the same. Is I assume that you guys see my screen. Yeah, you should see the screen. Wait. Let me try and make this bigger. All right, cool. Now we have something bigger. So, well, yesterday we did not comment, but we commented fairly on the product, but just not on the charts. So my view is the same. It's like this stuff is a range, unless proven otherwise. And the range is omega clear. You can't the range is pretty much this. And I have to say, I allow myself to run tighter invalidation because of the high time frame and the macro context. So usually when I say, okay, close above 72 and I'm out, it stands true in a training market. Otherwise you get absolutely smoked. But the thing is, we still have a lot of uncertainty. For example, on that bigger impulse yesterday, my view was that FOMC would still lead to uncertainty, and I don't think we are anywhere near any resolution in the Middle East. And gold is oil is still pretty high. VIX is still pretty high. And the high time frame trend is done. So it's like I don't necessarily feel like I have to you can be a lot more patient on the short side than on the long side, and we have a bad entry, that is for sure. Our entry is mid range, and so far it just played against us. But I'm still of the view that this is a range bound market, and it'd be super hard to find meaningful continued trends when the S&P is just isn't looking so good, and the VIX is high, and oil is above or close to 100. I just don't feel like this is. I'm not. Usually on BTC setup, I would never take 10%. But here, because of the context, I'm actually fine. But I have to say though, we'll cut this trade probably at break even. I think I don't feel so compelled to do to keep the short side for from here. We took a fairly big hype short, and we got absolutely smoked on this. Relative strength was just too high. Our entry was 37, it's currently at 41. We'll hold this short, potentially against some longs. So it's just to hedge some short exposure, well, some long exposure if we were to go long. which is the way I wanna approach this. So today we have the FOMC. FOMC. I don't think this is much of a. I don't think this is going to do much, but usually what you see ahead of FOMC is some de-risking. And if things looked very good yesterday for like a range breakout, the fact that you went to range highs and then you reject, it actually makes you a lot more bearish. So do I have any incentives now to cut the short trade? No, I think we would, we would definitely. I mean, I would definitely cut if we go back to range highs. Like a good trade you can take here is, target mid-range and your invalidation is reclaiming. Because reclaiming would mean that now that there is no STRC buy pressure, would mean that, okay, we actually are good to take off. And then, well, a trade that you can take is then, if you really reclaim it, then you're taking that trade. Your invalidation becomes this, and then you target like 80, 82. Like these are good trades that you can take. Some like it's a very easy market to navigate, like at this very moment. Hey, welcome for the high or for the heart. I appreciate the support. Means a lot. So we have this structure, and that just keeps. I see so many traders flip long here, and then flip super bearish here. I'm of the view that if it's a range, you're just gonna get completely smoked at the extremes, and you just can take your time. So we're taking our time. But I have to say though, you have to, if what I've done here is very bad from a risk management perspective, because in a trading condition, BTC, like the way I think about it, like BTC would never give you the time to enter if it was going to continue. So the fact that you're selling at range highs isn't normal, because in a big breakout, you don't have the market doesn't let you enter so much. And we see, I mean, let's all right, doesn't load, but let's check. For example, if we take the 12 hours here, the market barely allowed you to go short. Like when you have an actual breakout, like the people waiting for pullbacks, you just don't give the pullbacks. And that's how we form those big gaps in the market. So when I see you're selling at range highs, and you can see here, you're not selling at range highs. Sure, you can assume that you have this big drop and then fake out and then you go up. So that's what I'm saying. Like if then now we go back, then I'd be clearly in the wrong, and you have to admit, okay, you're wrong, and then I would believe it's a big breakout. And but so far it just hasn't been the case. And actually quite some people DM me like, hey, why don't you give an update? One is like super busy, but two, there's no updates to give. The market is just if you overtrade the market, it's just, you're just wasting time. So now, very clear, you reclaim this stuff and you have to flip bullish. You have no other solution, and your invalidation would be pretty much this level. And here, if you have any spikes into FOMC, I think you can short and then target mid-range, like 68, 67, and then reassess. I'm probably going to be trying to play the mid-range again with fairly tight invalidation, because I don't like this setup, the fact that you're rejecting at range highs. We did, and I'm talking a lot, and some will say I'm talking a lot of bullshit here, saying a lot of nonsense, but that's genuinely my thought. Is like things have to be nuanced. You know that the demand was not organic because of SDLC. So, what if all of that was just sailor inflows and then that's it, and so there is no like organic demand. When you look at ETH as well, like a lot of on positive funding rates, so if people piled in. So a market would be a lot healthier if you were to reset like 500k of ETH nominal. That's my view. So we'll take it as it is, and for now, exit mid-range. My eyes are on 67. 67. You. It's a mid-range is always a tricky place because your invalidation is not clear, and if I'm fine to have pretty chill risk management on the long side, on the short side, sorry, on the long side in a high time frame downtrend, you can get smoked real fast. Like the market can go to range lows. It doesn't have to ask you anything. And overall, if you want to treat this like a range, you just need to wait for range lows and be patient. And that's what we might do. Like if we do a setup mid-range and that doesn't work, we'll wait for much higher levels, much lower levels, and a reversal pattern. So that is my view on the markets. We'll show you some updates that we've made on the app today. And let me show you the stuff that we've made. We've added the rules. So the rules now are very clear. It's just clearly written. And it's clear for you. You have a visual feedback almost instantly, just like you have on a ribbon. We've added the stats page. So I have to QA this. We have to make some changes. Doesn't look as good as I thought. But today you can view your performance, all of your trade history. We have, what did we add? We've made some changes to a dashboard as well. We have, when you purchase a challenge, we've made a good UI feedback. Wait, let me try and purchase a challenge. You'll see, so if you're testing the app, you can use 424242. Whatever CSV, this has no meaning at all. It's not a free money glitch. And then there should be a pop-up. Yeah, there we go. The pop-up of the purchase confirmation. And then you can just go to your dashboard and pick the challenge. We've fixed a few bugs on the backend side after HIP3 started. I need to look exactly at what we shipped. I forgot a few things, I'm sure. We've added, what did we add? Yeah, we're working on the notional value implementation that we discussed yesterday. The ability to cap user changelog, and we can actually maybe we can vibe code together today on one interesting aspect, which I want to implement for the proper LP, so the landing page, sorry. But Yeah, so we're finishing. Sorry, we're finishing the UI and yeah, doing a couple of things. Couple of things on the backend side as well. Um, we are basically we basically want to be ready for the prod launch. On the prod launch, there will be. So what it's going to work, I'll show you. The way it's going to work is we will have. Just trying to see the mockups. Yeah, we'll have this stuff. We will have a free trial. We'll have this early access thing. So today, if you want to, so you'll basically have, well, we're changing this, but you'll have like a free trial. Anyone will be able to use the product. You won't pay for it. You'll get a free code. Obviously, you won't get funded, but it's our way to stress test the infrastructure in something that's a lot more stable than the beta environment, which today quite some people use. And if you want to have an early access, you will need to register yourself to the waitlist. The link to the waitlist is you can go to ProprXYZ/waitlist. Literally just this. And you can add your email to the waitlist. And the way it works is this: basically in the next 2 weeks, we will allow people to purchase a challenge. So don't go on the waitlist if you're not interested in the product. Today we have very limited, we only have 161 people on the waitlist. As we scale the referral program, there will be a lot more obviously added to the waitlist. And we will do a phased launch. So we want to make sure the best, we've already selected about 10 people that will use the app. These are friends, people from Swissborg, very close people from our community that are going to use the products. We'll give a feedback, but we also know that with these folks, if there is any issue, we can tackle it. They have our WhatsApp that is basically friends, right? So they'll test the product, very close group. We'll make sure the prod environment is stable, and then we'll do batches with people we don't know, and that's going to be somewhere in the mid-April or optimistically early April, depending on how this phase goes. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for just a brief of today. Really excited about this, I have to say. The prod launch, the free trial. We've postponed, in transparency, we've postponed the competition for the third time to the 30th of March. It might be postponed. We don't know. We don't want to release something that to us is not good, and where we're 100% sure there's no bugs. There will always be bugs, but things that really impact the user experience. We don't want any of this. Now we'll do some vibe coding. Actually, it's been quite a while since we vibe coded. Just linking here the website, and one thing that I want to do, and we'll do it live, is we have this rule. Wait, where are the rules again? Yeah, sorry. Here, are they there? No, we should probably add them here. We have this rule. We have this rule book, and today we have this this change log. If you go to the really bottom, we had this change log. The issue with that change log is it does not persist on the blockchain, so people have to trust us that we do the best to keep this. But I basically want to timestamp this on a blockchain, and I have no clue how to do it yet. I was really after the stream that I want to tackle this just for fun. It's it's pretty light work, I think, but we'll give this a go. I won't share the code base because we've come to a point where, for security reasons, we also can't show you much of the code base, sadly. But what I'm going to do is something different. I will launch the app locally, and then you'll have a direct feedback on the app. And then I just share my local host, so you see in real time the stuff that we build. All right, so localhost is active. We have this, and again, the thesis today is how can I enforce a rule changelog on a ledger without paying humongous amount of fees or whatever. So first is my trading rules. I think you want to have so a couple of things. I know. Sorry, got distracted. I know that it's not persisted on the database first and foremost. If you look at changelog here, I know this is not persisted on the database. So what I'm going to do first is ask Cloud to, on the rules page, can you make sure the changelog is persisted on a database, allow the admin to add entries on the admin dashboard, and then retrieve the changelog from the DB. Because we need first a Web2 DB persistence, and then we'll look at how can we do it in Web3. Let me just turn on the light. I have some ideas on how to do it. Obviously, I know we can build on Arweave. That's exactly what Arweave was made for. I believe you see my screen here. And Arweave, I've used Arweave in the past, and basically is immutable web. Mirror is using it. Mirror is an immutable blog. And now we'll look at the build and see how we can get started. You have a couple of alternatives to Arweave. We can ask alternative to Arweave. What's the alternatives? Filecoin is one, CI, IPFS. Obviously, IPFS is where the metadata of NFTs usually is hosted. And what's the pricing of Arweave? I'm too lazy to look at the docs on Arweave fees. Is this? We really have minor data. I wonder how you pay such a fee and if we can spin this up today. Now I've just asked Claude to whatever changelog we have here, have this on the database. And here I'm gonna drag. We use Supabase for this. It's a very easy way. Like my goal for this is that Let me actually check if I have. I can't show you the admin panel so much, but I want to try. We'll try and refresh. Like we'll do a mutation to the text, so I can see the change. Wait. Wait, where is this? Just trying to check. Where is this? Okay, I can see this on a database. So let's see. I'm gonna change like the ed from removed. So now there shouldn't be any ed on the removed. There we go. So we know this works. So now this is dynamic. A very basic crude operation. Now we want to do the cool stuff, which is how can each new addition and changes be stored through Arweave to maintain a permanent changelog of the rules. So people won't have to take our voice for it. They'll just sorry, go. All right, just got distracted, getting pinged from all over. All right, cool. So now I've asked Claude to look at Arweave and give me, ideally what I want is each new changes comes with a transaction hash, or you can just audit what's in there. Some of you might think, yeah, this is overkill, yeah, it's not needed. But we want to go full on transparency, and if I don't see I think this is cool to just say, yeah, we'll change rules, that's for sure, but you see how the rules evolve. If I go on Breakout, if I go on FTM, or if I go on whichever firm, no one's doing it. And when I say I want to be the most transparent, it means like I'm okay. I'm completely okay to have rules that change. That's not the point. The point is to say we'll do it in a way that's transparent, so people see that at least things change. I think people don't value, people don't care so much about changes. They care that it persists. So if we do this effectively, I think we'll solve for one of the biggest transparency issue, which is the rule change. And obviously we have to manually, every time we have a rule change, ideally you do it in a way that's trustless. So you have a cron job on your backend for the rule system, and every time you change one of the rules, you would fire like an event to Arweave for basically if your rule log, ideally I have to say, ideally the rule log is on the blockchain, and that is the next big step. I would say this is overkill for now because we don't have the expertise for it internally to have this still on the blockchain. That's not efficient, but that's, if we really want to go that way, I think that's the natural step forward. So Claude is working for me now. And let's see, perhaps we just one-shot this. That'd be crazy. Maybe we one-shot this. Claude just went on a... Wait, what do we have to do? All right, so now we have the Arweave transaction ID. And we need to, I suppose, get the private key of the Arweave wallet. And then I think we'll test it out. We'll test it out really quickly. I don't have any Arweave, so that it might be, there's definitely going to be an issue, I think. I have to change the database to insert the transaction hash. All right, we need to create an Arweave wallet, and then maybe we can try and find out how can I buy RAR on chain. How can I buy Arweave token on chain? That's the big. That's a big, the big point. I have no clue. I've just created an Arweave wallet. Okay. We have an Arweave wallet. That's cool. Well, I do this with Include because I don't. It's gonna be $1 of Arweave. Let's see if there is an Arweave. Let's say Arweave. Is there an Arweave bridge? So what is the thing with maybe, I don't know, if you look at Jumper Exchange, do you have Arweave on there? Arweave. No. Alright, so I guess the big issue is gonna get bridge Arweave. Let's see if we can bridge some ETH over to Arweave. Rocket X. Arweave all bits. Yo. Okay, so I'm probably not gonna be doing it. Do I have time to do it? I don't have any access to Arweave. To my different wallets. MVM bridge. The thing is, this is pretty shady, no? Let's go in the crypto rabbit hole. If someone knows here how to get Arweave and then bridge that over to Arweave, I mean, I'm very interested. If I go on Arweave the app, do they give me any ways to bridge? Okay. So it's a cool website, but like, how can I? Okay. Thank you, but this website is great, but like, I can't look, man. This is. You can hate blockchain after this. I understand people not liking blockchains. They'll try and do something, and then that's what happens. And then you lose 10 minutes of your time. Man. Is there no way? Like, how do you want to get adoption to? It just has to be crazy. Wait, let me ask, like, how can I buy AR tokens and bridge to my wallet on chain perhaps close is gonna help me out. That'd be good. That would be good. All right, so yeah, you have to buy AR on Binance, but I don't have a Binance account. It's crazy if you can't have this on a. Oh, right. It looks like we can pay for Iris. Or maybe we can use AnySwap. AnySwap to get stuff over to Arweave. They don't support Arweave. So we can use Iris Turbo, apparently. And that's one of the main that says the main. Okay, what the fuck is this? Is an upgraded, which can be purchased with. Okay. Look, I think it's a bit too. It's a bit too annoying. Maybe we can just use. Maybe. Maybe we'll just not use Arweave and use an alternative that's free. Because the way it's going is just ridiculous. And I think that we don't really care how it gets stored. We just want to store it. And we'll use IPFS for this. As I've done a lot of IPFS. In the past, and I think it's gonna be so much easier. In the meantime, I'm looking at the market quickly, but things aren't looking so good. So I just want to try to, get over with the IPFS thing, and then we can get it over with. Yeah, or maybe one can argue you can use GitHub for this. And they would be correct. We can use GitHub, that's totally right. So let's see. It's just coding for me at the moment, and can't do much else. But I think we'll call it a day because it's just not cool. But I think in the next like 5-10 minutes, you guys can be going to the app and then see the rule change log. Maybe I comment on this on the build in public, and then you'll be able to inspect each and every change, which I think is pretty cool. On that note, that was not the best stream, I have to say, but yeah, stay cool and